How to stand out as a beauty business is one of the key things that a lot of business owners, especially within the beauty industry, aren't actually really tapping into. Not one of the key things, there's many key things in fact, but these key things, especially the ones that I'm going to be sharing with you, it is super important to be able to share these things or put them themselves out there in a way that actually sits congruently to their brand. Because as a beauty owner, as a beauty business owner more specifically, yes, your industry is very crowded and yes, your industry is highly populated. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you need to, sink amongst everybody else as to what they're doing. Because yes, although people do similar things to you, that doesn't mean that they will stand out above you continuously if you allow them. If you allow them. And what you need to make sure that you do is not only do you tap into these key things that I'm going to be sharing with you, but equally start showing up in a way that you are actually happy with. You are actually sitting right with, more specifically, and start showing up in a way that doesn't lose yourself within that process. That's part of the key to it right there. Now, my name is Tanya Grant and I'm the founder of the T&G Designs Group Limited. And aside from hoping you're keeping safe and well, folks, I want to make sure that you as the beauty business owner, you are making sure that you are tapping into these key things so you can actually start standing out in a way that's congruent to what it is that you stand for and believe in more specifically. Because when you are not standing out, or when you are not shining as you are supposed to be shining, how are your clients supposed to? How are your clients supposed to make sure that they equally want to feel that next level of greatness if you're not feeling that yourself? How are your clients supposed to make sure that they are actually feeling good about themselves or feeling good in their own space if you're not doing the same thing? It's the idea of leading by example, and more specifically, I always help my clients to be able to understand how they can do that without losing themselves in the process, but equally more so, how they can do that and start seeing that they are more than what they see themselves. Because however you identify, however you move forwards, however you are resonating with your own audience, you need to be able to see and understand that you are the example and you are the way forwards for others to be able to get, this person can help me. I've seen what they do before and let me reach out to them. That's the difference when you understand these key strategies. It's rather than you continuously seeking people out, people are now seeking you out because they've seen your stuff on socials, they've seen your stuff in advertising, they've seen your stuff with your marketing, because your marketing is actually hitting those key points that helps them to understand that you can actually help them. And that's what the average beauty business owner constantly misses out on. But watch this video to be able to understand what you can actually do moving forwards. And more specifically, folks, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, because I share really cool tips just like this to be able to help my audience like you to move forwards. But not only move forwards today, it's moving forwards continuously, because that's what I hold of high importance. It's not only about the here and now, it's about the continuation and how you keep going, even more importantly. So folks, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you also go ahead and actually hit that little ring bell so you get notified as to when I actually go ahead and upload a new video. Also folks, stick around to the very, very end of this video, because I get to show you a way that you're not only just learning about what I'm sharing in this video, you're going to learn how to continuously keep that motion going. So stick around to the very end of this video to find out exactly how. And folks, let's just get into it. So as I said, we're going to be talking about the idea as to how to stand out as a business owner, more specifically a beauty business owner. And with that in mind, I want to make sure that you are having what's known as the dab effect, and equally what's sharing what it is that you do, but in a way that, doesn't lose yourself in the process. Now, here's what I mean by the dab effect. The dab effect will essentially tap into key things that a lot of beauty business owners do not literally tap into themselves, or maybe they'll hit the surface level of it, but it won't be enough to make sure that they're making those better connections within their audience pool, and more specifically, the audience pool that is actually for them. And yes, as a beauty business owner, yes, there are many people within your same space that do something similar to you. However, you are unique in the way that you stand, because there's a unique way that you actually help them, help your clients, that is. And then there's a unique way that you know how to treat a client specifically geared to what you've experienced in the past. Now, the dab effect will help you to be able to literally tap into that and really hit home as to what it is that you do and really why it is that you do it. So the D in dab, this is what I wanted to make sure that you hold within your mind, right? The word dab. The D in dab is understanding your duty. Now, here's what I mean by duty. The duty is, what is it that you do? How do you serve people? What's your service? What's your offer? What's your product? What is that duty that you give to people? What is that duty that you do for people, rather? How do you make them feel? Because when you tap into that idea of how you make them feel, what is that experience like, more specifically, because a lot of beauty business owners, by the way, folks, don't even tap into the experience. They're just all about the visual outcome. They're all about, this is what I do. This is how much it costs, which is great. However, what is that general experience? People need to know it. And the difference between a successful beauty business owner versus, the average kind of beauty business owner. Yes, the average beauty business owners are doing great jobs. However, the successful beauty business owner will always be the one that is standing out in a way that literally taps into those key points, that duty aspect, that experience aspect, that really hits home with the audience that they're trying to reach. And off the back of that, audience. That's the A in dab. Audience is something that a lot of beauty business owners, yes, they have in mind, but they're not paying attention to. And here's what I mean by that. When you're really paying attention to your audience, you're really understanding what is it that they're actually coming to you for, the real reason, right? Now that why element could be that they're having a down day. That why element could be that they're there for an occasion and they really want to, help to elevate their own experience. So how can you add or contribute to that? By way of what it is that you do, how do you contribute to that experience? When you're giving somebody a haircut in the beauty space, you're not just giving them a haircut, you're making them feel one hell of 100% better about themselves because you've made them look super cool, super edgy, whatever that aspect is, you've helped them to feel that. And if somebody's coming to you because, do you know what, their skin condition isn't quite in the right condition that they'd like it to be, you're helping them to leave your beauty business feeling 10 times more confident, feeling 10 times like they can conquer the world, and feeling more like they can just walk the streets being themselves. You're doing a hell of a lot more that the average beauty business owner won't even tap into. So what is that for yourself? And folks, the reason why I'm getting you to address your duty and address your audience, and equally this third part that I'm about to share with you, is because you're doing a hell of a lot more than what your surface level duty or surface level thing is. A lot of people, a lot of business owners, especially in the beauty space, will lead with what's known as their tool, which is the idea that they're a beautician. But no, you're more than that. The beautician is the tool aspect, the hairdresser is a tool aspect, and other elements of the general beauty business are the tools. But what you're actually doing for people is far greater than what you're actually thinking about. So now let's start thinking about what's below that surface level, and let's really tap into that, because when you do that, that's where the gold lies. And equally, when you do that, that's how you start making better connections with your clients, with your audience, and specifically how they start wanting to come back to you because they now get it. They know that you get them, right? We all know that when we find that really great hairdresser, we're not leaving them because of the way that they made us feel. When we found that really cool beautician, we're not leaving them, regardless of how far they are, regardless of who's moved where. We know, because that's what we want to make sure that we stick with, because of what their values are and because of how they resonate with us. Those key elements are the sweet spots that a lot of beauty business owners tend to just overlook or really miss out on. So start using those key elements to your own advantage and start standing out using them. Really think about that. Now, this next part, the third part, the B in the dab. The B in the dab. This is something that again, the average beauty business owner will tend to overlook, because 9 times out of 10, and yes, as a beauty brand or as a business brand in general, it's always going to be about them, as in the audience, as in the people that you're working with, rather, right? But they won't think about the true brilliance as to what it is that they are. And brilliance is the word, by the way, that's B in the DAB. The brilliance of what it is that you actually do is essentially tapping into the idea of the why of what it is that you do. Now, remember, I was sharing about that really under surface level thing that you actually give to your client. That's the brilliance aspect right there. That's the gold that, again, a lot of business owners, especially within the beauty space, won't even think about looking at. So imagine you as a beauty business owner, regardless of what your specific niche is, you tap into the brilliance of what it is that you do, the real thing of what it is that you do. And again, those connections are going to be far more better, because not only are you getting it yourself, this is essentially therapy, folks. When you're doing your own business or creating your own business, business is like therapy in a sense where you're discovering new things about yourself constantly. Really listen and home into that, but equally also listen to what your audience is experiencing. Because that DAB effect comes from all of what surrounds you. That DAB effect comes from the experiences that you're having or that others are having with you. So really tap into that and really use that to your advantage. But don't just do it one time, do it continuously. You have to do it continuously and constantly, and create that level of consistency, obviously, that matches your flow of work, that matches your flow of the day. Because if you do anything outside of that, then things get a little bit higgledy-piggledy and things don't work in the way that you kind of want them to work. So match your own frequency when you do that. When you tackle the DAB effect, especially when it comes to being in the beauty space, you watch and see the better connections that you start making. You watch and see how people start really, really resonating with what it is that you're doing, and equally why it is that you're doing it more specifically. So folks, I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that this video resonated with you. As always, make sure, in order to be able to continue that DAB effect and then some, how you actually start elevating it, click on the actual link that's in the description box below. Get to grips with the key principles that I have in there to be able to share with you, so that you can keep your brand going, keep your beauty business brand going more specifically, and start elevating it, or even adding extra elements to it that will really magnify what it is that you can do for your audience and your clients and all those who come across your path. Click on that link, and that's in the description box below. Get to grips with all the goodies that I've got to share with you in there. And folks, as always, remember to like and subscribe to this channel. And folks, once again, I will see you on the other side.